don't see is I can't see you at all. Like there's a really big bright light over there and I can't see any of you. Hi, I'm Cristiano. I'm a developer advocate at Braintree. This is my talk. This is a little Ruby love story, actually. Any Rubyists in the room? Come on, be a bit louder. I can't hear you. There must be like at least one of you. Damn it, it's just me. Anyway, I love Ruby. I love hackathons. Who here was at the hackathon this weekend? Yeah, I heard a few yays. Who here has never been to a hackathon? Oh, wow. Most of you have been to a hackathon. Cool. I love hackathons. So this is Hackathons on Rails. I'm a developer advocate. What does that mean? I'm a developer advocate for... Sorry, I'm just quickly going to change this because I can't actually see my next slide, which really throws me off. Give me like 1 second. There we go. Awesome. So I'm a developer advocate for Braintree. What is Braintree? Braintree is part of PayPal. I'm not going to talk much about that. We do payments. We do payments for like these companies. I think most of you will recognize at least one of them. Anyway, what is a developer advocate? Well, I live in London, this city. Anybody else from London here? Like some speakers down at the front here. It's a nice city, but basically what I do is I fly a lot. Like I fly a lot on planes. This is actually me down there. No, it's not. That sounds really luxurious, but what that really means is that I'm an expert at microwave meals. Like who's ever been on a plane where you get a meal and you're like, I have no idea what this is. Like absolutely no idea. You go like, it's chicken, and you eat it, it's like, oh no, this is egg. Yeah, that's basically my life, lots of coach. Anyway, I also do bad jokes, if you might be able to tell. Who wants to hear a really good one? American Express card walks into a bar in Moscow. Bartender says, sorry mate, you're not allowed in here without a visa. Anyway, I wasn't saying I do good jokes. I do mainly credit card jokes. This is what I know about Transylvania. I was expecting you guys all to burn in the sun outside. I'm surprised to see so many of you here during the daylight. I also expected more of this. I'm very happy that's not happening because I know what the average programmer looks like under the t-shirt. Anyway, hackathons on Rails. So what do I do? Like this is my history. This is my history as a developer, right? So in 2004, that's when Rails was kind of like the first commit for Rails came out. And it was DHA who started it. And as you can see, just like everybody else, he's really shit at commits because his first commit is called initial. Like no description as to what it does or anything. He has a changelog file, but like it's a shit commit, right? We all know that. We've all done it, right? The git commit, initial commit. I at the time was doing Symfony, PHP. Oh dear. Like lots of this. There's PHP people in the room here, right? Like lots of arrows. Everything needs to be an arrow in PHP. And now it's like backslashes and everything else involved. In 2007, in 2007 I moved to London. And I started doing hackathons. In London, there were a couple of really big hackathons. One of them was actually in Alexandra Palace. This was like the first one kind of organized in London by BBC and Yahoo, and it was amazing. Now, this is an old broadcasting station. So what this does is it's a place where they used to broadcast television and radio. What that means is it had a really big antenna next to it. But it's also a listed building, which means that they don't want it to burn down. So it's got very fancy security that if it's on fire, the roof opens so that they can kind of like the firemen can kind of throw water through the roof. It's really smart. Now the lightning that day struck into the antenna twice, making the building think it was on fire, opening the roof while we were inside hacking and it was raining. And who here is a student? Any students in the room? I see a few of you. I don't know how you are now, but when I was a student, my laptop was like the most expensive thing I owned. I was like, ah! Anyway, we had some crazy stuff being built at these hackathons. This is my friend Ewan. He built a flight simulator. And when I say he built a flight simulator, is he built a wooden frame that looked like a plane. And then he had a joystick, you see at the front, and he controlled the position of the plane on Google Maps. And he was flying around the world in 24 hours. He was basically pushing a cursor over Google Maps around the world. But they had very specific rules, like if they had to go to the toilets, they had to find an airport, stop, get out, get the next person in, and then keep flying again. Crazy hacks like that. This is also where I met this guy. Anybody know this guy? No? His name is Simon. He's a co-founder of Lanyard. Some of you might know that. He's also creator of Django, Python. Python library. I looked at Django. I was like, hey, this actually makes sense. This is a lot nicer than Symfony. I started looking at how Python kind of works. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, you just have all these nice functions. But then I started looking at Ruby, and I was like, oh, that's exactly the same thing, but more sensible. I was like, oh, you can start doing kind of awesome things like kind of having blocks and stuff like that. So I like my Ruby. So around this time, this is when Ruby Rails 2 was launched, and I had a bit of a look at that. Now, I tell you I like Ruby. At that time, that was Ruby 1.8. And we didn't have anything. We didn't have any way to kind of resolve dependencies. We didn't have anything useful, mainly because this guy, this is again DHA's, mainly he was spending his time racing rather than writing good code. He made a bit too much money, I think. Now, 2008, what happened in 2008? Just to put a bit of context in, we had the iOS SDK coming out. This kind of language. I don't have time for that. What is that? There was no dependencies on iOS. There was no testing on iOS. There was nothing happening there. It was just it was the Wild West. So when let's talk about hackathons. Because this is kind of sounding like a Ruby love story at the moment, but it's more like how I kind of failed to not stop caring about Ruby. I just kept going back to Ruby, and I'm still going back to Ruby. 2009, I started doing hackathons in London a bit more. This is Charity Hack. This was organized by PayPal at the time. So the idea was 24 hours coming together and building cool stuff for charities. This is me over there. There's a girl in the back there somewhere. She's important. She'll come back at some point. This is my friend Tom at the right here. He built an app called Charity Shock. You know these pens, these kind of joke pens where you press the button and you get shocked, right? He took it apart, connected it to an Arduino, connected the thing to his arm, connected it to a website where you could pay with PayPal to shock him. He did a 2-minute demo. He got shocked every 5 seconds. He didn't win. We won. Charity Frag was they took an open source video game where if I shoot you and I kill you successfully, money from you goes to my charity. Yeah, it was a pretty good one too. I love those. I won in 2009. I got to go to the US. We realized that we worked so well together that we started a company called Pizza Powered, because at the time we were mainly powered by pizza. This evolved into something called Ember Ads, which is my startup that didn't make any money, but it was fun. This is at the time that Node.js came out. Any Node people here? Oh, come on, that's not true. You need to shout because I can't see you. Any Node people here? Yeah, see, I can hear you here. See, Node is nice, it's JavaScript, because you start with some nice, very simple code, and then you add some more, and it just becomes to the right. Nobody got time for that. Anyway, I went back to Ruby. Since then, I've been to about 50 hackathons, I think, in total. Maybe like 60. I've been involved with organizing quite a few of them, including this one, which was 500 people inside of that building. That's the O2 in London. We had 500 people in there. You can't really see, like at the moment, this is like the inner circle. There's like another entire circle around it. And up here is kind of a bit of a stage like this, like a bit of a room like that, with more people sitting there. It was amazing. The Wi-Fi went down. That's what you get when you put 500 people who all bring like 5 devices with them into one room. Yeah, we fixed it eventually, but it took a while. We learned some good lessons there. Anyway, that was a fun location. We're never doing that again. It's way too complicated. Oh, come on. And then I joined Braintree. So I joined PayPal because my startup kind of flopped. So I joined PayPal, and we started doing hackathons. So we started doing this thing called Battle Hack. Anybody here heard of Battle Hack? Anybody been to Battle Hack? Nobody. Okay, awesome. So what is Battle Hack? We do 14. So the first year we did 10 cities, and then last year we did 14, and this year we did 14 again. So we do 14 hackathons around the world, and then we bring the winners to our finals in San Francisco, where they all compete against each other for $100,000. And we're not taking any equity or anything. We're not, this is not an investment. This is just us having fun. And when I say fun, I mean like we have a lot of fun with a lot of food. But what we wanted to do, right, is we didn't want you to kind of walk away from a hackathon with like a little, I don't know, like a little box like that. And it's like, yeah, I won. Like that's not how you win a competition. So we wanted to have a good trophy, right? You want a decent trophy. So we came up with this. This came from China. This was actually sharp. Okay. It's actually sharp on the edges. We had to get it blunted. And after we got it blunted, it was still sharp. These are the winners from the first year. Moscow won. Second year, we did more cities. We did 14. We made a bigger axe, because bigger is better. More cities, and then this year, of course, we wanted to do something special, so we did, again, 14 cities, and this is the axe that we have this year. Now, for those of you that can't see it quite, it glows in the dark, just like my hoodie glows in the dark. Ooh, it's a bit hard to see with the light on me, but trust me, it's glowing. Anyway, so the question I get a lot is like, which hackers are the best, right? Where are they the best? Is it Cluj? Yeah, see, now they can talk suddenly. Which hackers are the best? Well, what I can tell you is wherever you go, if you give people a wig, they'll put it on. This is actually our head in Germany. This is one of our lead people of PayPal in Toronto. This is Moose. He's Canadian. You can see that. This is actually our head of engineering on the developer platform for PayPal. He's the only guy I don't trust with the axe. And I fall for this stuff too. Now, what did we do? Like 2013 sucked because we were using Eventbrite and MailChimp and GitHub Pages, and it was a pain in the ass to build the entire website. And any change, like I had to put it in like 3 places. So one of the things I did is I built my own system. So it does like everything. It does ticketing. I can schedule releases of tickets. I can do the check-in through it. I can print badges. I can do rehearsals. So we do rehearsals during our hackathons. I can send all the emails. So it's an entire system. It does statistics, which I can't show you for legal reasons. I'd like to say it's all fully microserviced. It's not. It's one big gigantic app in Ruby. One of the cool things we did do was like we use Slack as our login. So I'm familiar with Slack. We created private channels, and as long as you have access to the right private channel, you can log into the right apps. So auth Battle Hack, if you have access to that channel, you can log into our admin panel. It's really nice because it means I can just control access control through Slack. And the only thing I need to do when somebody leaves the company is actually just kick them out of Slack. We also wrote our own code of conduct because we felt like there was a lot of conference code of conducts, but not a whole lot of hack code of conducts out there. I built my own clock, kind of timer with a tweet wall. I control some other properties as well, which I'm happy to talk to you about. We have a tool for keeping track of what events we go to. That's basically all the stuff I do. I'm skipping through this a bit quickly because I want to get back to the question, which is, I'm basically the tooling and engineering lead, which pretty much means I'm the fuck it, ship it wizard. I love my job security. But going back to the question, which is which hackers are the best, I could tell you some stuff. In 2015, so this year, we started doing statistics. So we started keeping track of what tools people are using to build their hacks. So what we did is we've done six battle hacks so far, and we've got statistics on 5 of them. So here's the interesting stuff: popularity. So which languages are most popular? In 5, Python, Angular, Android, JavaScript, and Node. So these are the technologies listed. Now I see that there's JavaScript and Node is a big overlap there. Even if I combine those two, Ruby is still not in the top 5. I'm very sad. The other thing that we do though is we secretly rate all the hacks when we do the rehearsals. We kind of give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a nothing. So we have a rating for each technology used. Now, it's a bit hard to do an average on it, but I can tell you some of them kind of stick out. So there's a couple of them that honestly suck. The ones that do, Node.js, most of the Node.js hacks are shit. Most of the C ones are pretty bad. Java ones aren't very good either. And I have a typo, MongoDB. MongoDB isn't very good either. Actually, the only one that sticks out as a good hack that has a pretty high rating on average. Anybody want to do a guess? Ruby? No, it's not Ruby, sorry. Azure. Yeah, exactly, that was my response. What? Now the real question is what wins, right? Which technologies win? So let's have a look. LA, they made this thing called DropLock. So it's if your laptop gets stolen, it automatically takes a picture and uploads it to Dropbox. That's one of the hacks they built. It was pretty cool. What is it built in? Cake PHP. Right, Singapore was mainly this stuff. Okay, so Node didn't do too bad. Rally, a bit of that. London went crazy. London just put everything in. They were like we're gonna win by just confusing the judges. Athens, it's on there. It's made it. Whew. Finally, it's not a dead language yet. I gave it away. So the reason why I pointed out earlier to keep an eye out for the girl that was in the picture earlier is I eventually asked her to marry me, and of course the ring has a ruby in it, because I'm predictable. So thank you very much. That's it from me. I'm happy to talk to you about afterwards about payments, which I also know a lot about hackathons. If you admire my laptop with all the stickers, I've got about 1 million stickers with me, and I'm from different companies. I'm happy to share them with you. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cristiano. Big applause for that. So I want to mention again that also for the VIP ticket holders, Cristiano will be also available in the 3rd floor for private Q&A. And I think also people can shoot you an email to talk later with you, because we have to cut down on the Q&A now to recover a little bit of the time that we lost. I'm sorry. I would love to have tons of questions for you, but this way the people can haunt you while you try to get a coffee.
Not one funny one by you?
No. I would have plenty of ones, but we'll need to cut down. So.